Hello guys. So in physics, if you see, there are certain questions that are asked about how does different properties depend on color of light or wavelength of light. So we try to remember that portion of the book where it is written that this property is dependent on wavelength or on the color of light. How does it depend? Those things, pictographic memory we try to collect, but that is not the correct approach. If you see, if you follow a logical path, then any dependence on the color of the light or the wavelength, it is very easy. So that is what we will discuss today in our this small video. So first of all, what are the optical properties that are really asked in the examinations with respect to different kinds of colors of light. So if you see, normally deviation is asked, okay, whether it is prism or whether it is a glass slab, deviation is asked, and critical angle is also asked. So we have taken these two properties, and obviously diffractive index is also asked. So we will start with our first principle, which is very important in this case. If you see, what is mu? The refractive index, that is velocity of light in air or vacuum divided by velocity of light in that medium. So velocity of light is always constant, right? It does not change, by this f into lambda dash, okay. The color of light, whatever you are using, it does not matter to me. So that wavelength is over here, and there is a frequency, okay. Now if you see, frequency is an objective property of light, right? Frequency is an objective property of light, and on refraction frequency does not change. So essentially frequency is constant. So this part of the equation is constant. So if you see, mu is equal to constant by lambda dash, right? So I can say refractive index is inversely proportional to lambda, okay. So this part is the basic part which you need to know, okay. So suppose if somebody asks you which color of light is having least refractive index, now you suddenly will get baffled, like kaun sa color ka hai, kaun sa color ka hai. But nothing to worry. You see, you already know that highest wavelength is lambda r, right? Lambda r is the highest wavelength, that is red light wavelength is highest, okay. It has got least deviation, if you know. So that will come, deviation mein aa jayega. Now at this moment I know that red light having the highest wavelength, okay, done. So if somebody is having the highest wavelength, it will obviously be having the least mu, because they are inversely proportional. Somebody is having highest wavelength, they will be having the least refractive index, okay, done by just this one basic principle. You do not need to remember, you know it already, it is mathematics, right? Okay. Now next, coming to deviation, whether it is in glass slab or in prism, right? So as the refractive index increases, deviation उतना ज़्यादा होगा. As the refractive index increases, deviation will be more. So deviation is basically, it is not directly proportional exactly, but anyhow, as refractive index increases, deviation will increase. Now if somebody asks you which color of light is having highest deviation, so first of all I will try to find out. Red is having highest wavelength, it will be having least mu, and least mu matlab least deviation, ठीक है, least deviation. If you say the spectrum of mirror, then we know that red color is deviated the least, it forms the top of the spectrum, right, with Georg. So it is having the least deviation. So if what was the question? Question was which color of visible light is having the most deviation, right, largest deviation. Obviously it will be for violet light, right? Violet light, most deviation, correct. Next, IC, you know the formula, sin IC is 1 by mu, right? So if lambda red, I am considering lambda red will have least mu. If mu is least, critical angle will be least. Sorry, if mu is least, critical angle will be highest. Why? IC top में है, ये down में है, highest IC. For what? Red color will have highest critical angle. So if you follow this path like this, what I have done, you don't have to remember anything. Okay? So इसको थोड़ा सा practice करो and everything will be crystal clear. But follow this path, try to do it by mathematics, try to do it by logic, don't remember. Now if you ask me how does this critical angle, this deviation depends on angle of incidence, then yes, you have to remember that curve. I am sorry for that. This one you have to remember, because at this moment you do not have that in your class 10th syllabus, how to determine this. But otherwise, these things for the colors of light, you can do it easily. You don't remember anything, just do it by your logic. देखो यार, if you remember or memorize it and do it, then you are becoming illogical. And if you are becoming illogical at this age, then you can understand at certain point of time how much logical you will be.